If you're in Japan thinking about a movie this weekend, we've got a man who has opinions for you. Or if you're just thinking about renting a DVD or downloading a movie, this man has the information you need. Mr. Don Morton from Metropolis Magazine. How you doing, Don?
G'day, Kong.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Let's get right to the movies. But before we do that, where can we get the best burrito in Japan?
Everybody knows that. It's the Pink Cow in Roppongi.
All right. We'll talk more about burritos a little bit later, but what 3 movies do you have for us this week?
We have Altman, Good Kill, and A Most Violent Year.
I understand you're also going to tell us movies we should avoid a little bit later, right?
Those are easy.
All right. Well, let's get to the 3 best. Worst first?
No, all 3 of these are pretty good.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. Altman, what can you tell us about this one?
Altman is a documentary about film director Robert Altman. Few film directors have been as admired and emulated as the late Robert Altman. Young film directors try to emulate him because he let actors kind of do their thing. But there was so much more to what he did, and this movie goes into that.
All right. Can you name a few of his films?
Everybody knows his films. He did MASH. He did Brewster McCloud, Nashville, A Wedding, Beyond Therapy, The Player, and Gosford Park.
All great films. Any duds?
Well, he also did Popeye.
I kind of liked Popeye. I liked the girl who played Olive. What was her name?
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, she's always riveting. She was in The Shining.
That's right.
This is a documentary on the man's life and work by director Ron Mann, and it features mostly the man himself and excerpts from interviews and speaking appearances, along with some home movies and some news footage, and even a few experimental shorts that were never shown.
No talking heads?
Well, talking heads are limited to the actors that he'd worked with, and they're asked to define in a single word or phrase what the word Altman-esque means. It's trickier than it sounds, apparently. Each of these interviews is no longer than 10 seconds.
Oh, so a good documentary.
It's a good documentary, pretty straightforward. I would have liked to know more about his creative process, but it's still worth seeing.
Next movie is called Good Kill, and this is about the American drone strikes in the Middle East, right?
Yeah, we've heard a lot about these, but we rarely think about those who pilot these pilotless planes from planeless cockpits 11,000 kilometers away in Las Vegas, of all places. This is a tense, timely, and informative ethics study.
Who stars in this movie?
Ethan Hawke, in top form, good as ever, plays Major Thomas Egan, a veteran fighter pilot who finds it increasingly difficult to ignore his conscience and continue to play what amounts to a very lethal video game. Then the CIA starts giving the increasingly ruthless orders, and things come to an emotional head. It's a quite satisfying movie, not perfect, but I enjoyed it. Also an electric Zoe Kravitz and a relatively dull January Jones in the cast.
Is it ethical to fight a war using drones?
Well, is it ethical to fight a war using airplanes with bombs? I mean, who knows? It depends on what you're using them against.
What will you come away from this film feeling?
Thoughtful.
Let's move on. The next film is called A Most Violent Year. Is it really a violent film?
Well, no, surprisingly not. But there's an undeniable, palpable undercurrent of menace throughout the film. It's well-crafted, highly atmospheric, and believable film for grown-ups.
And so what's the storyline?
This is basically a character study. Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain play a couple struggling to make a success of their heating oil business in an honorable way. But someone's been hijacking his delivery trucks, and he's in a tight financial spot.
And so how did he get into this business?
Well, he bought the business from his wife's gangster father, but he's determined to succeed without stooping to the vicious tactics of his mobbed-up competitors.
So do the right thing?
Well, as he puts it, do the most right thing.
So what does the title mean?
Well, the title refers to 1981, when New York streets were at their meanest, at the top of the crime wave.
And who else is in this movie?
A nearly recognizable Albert Brooks. Yes, the voice of the father of Nemo puts in a surprisingly deep performance, and David Oyelowo from Selma fleshes out a slim role as the DA tasked with cleaning up the industry. This is not for everyone, and while it brings little new to the gritty true crime thriller genre, you will not know where it's going, and that's reason enough to keep watching the movie.
All right, so you're recommending this film?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about the films you are not recommending. What should we avoid?
Okay. Coming up soon, we have Fantastic Four.
Oh, is this a retread?
This is a retry.
I see.
10 years ago, they made Fantastic Four, a movie, and it was just awful. So I went in thinking that can't be any worse than the one 10 years ago, but I was dead wrong.
So avoid Fantastic Four. Not even a movie for the kids?
No, I don't think so.
All right. What else should we avoid?
Pitch Perfect 2. I saw that this afternoon. It took some effort to not walk out of the screening room because it was just lame. The first one was pretty lame too, but at least it had some good music and you could listen to the CD. This one, the music isn't even any good. Every situation is contrived. The humor is bad taste. It is the worst pop cultural piece of garbage to come out of Hollywood in a long time.
Do you have anything good to say about this movie?
Well,
Try to find something good to say about Pitch Perfect 2.
Okay, let me think. Let me try. No.
Okay. What else should we avoid?
Nobody should name a movie Pan that is aware of what film critics do, because this is an origin story about Peter Pan, and it is getting panned repeatedly and deservedly. There's no joy, there's no fun. Hook isn't even a bad guy. It's a reimagining that doesn't have any imagination. It's just awful.
Is this a Disney film?
No, I think it's Fox.
Okay. So when you write your review for the magazine, you're going to
pan.
Gotcha.
It.
Don, when you're hungry for a burrito, when you've got a hankering for the most delicious burrito or salad here in Tokyo, where do you go?
Well, I sure don't go online and look up burritos in Tokyo because I know that you go to the Pink Cow for that and get a burrito there.
Pink Cow is right across the street from Don Quixote.
In Roppongi, yep.
In the shadow of the Tokyo Tower.
That's right.
All right, film critic for Metropolis Magazine, Don Morton, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you next week.